everyone, and welcome to the recap video for Chase's Org Thingy Season 5, Blood versus Water. Now, our first twist of the season is obviously in the name. It is a Blood versus Water season, so everybody had a partner. Most of them applied with their partner, but you could also apply as a solo and get paired up with somebody else who also applied as a solo for the season. We also made it so that these pairs and partners could legally cross-tribe because we have siblings on the season, we have best friends on the season, like, we're not going to be able to tell them they can't talk to each other, so we just made it legal for them to be able to, and also for the people that got randomly paired up with someone, it didn't give them a disadvantage to go into a merge with someone they had never met before, but was supposedly their loved one that they were in the season with. The other twist that we added was the merchants. So the winning tribe would send one person from the losing tribe to go to the merchant. This person would get to pick what advantage they wanted. There are 10 advantages, and once one was picked, you couldn't use it again. And you could pick it from 3 tiers. However, every tier had a challenge. Tier 1 was a very easy challenge, up to Tier 3, that was a very hard and annoying challenge to complete. And not everyone finished the challenges. Tier 1, what does that mean? Well, Tier 1 means that you only have it for that tribal that you're attending. Tier 2 means that you have it up until the final 9, and Tier 3 means that you have it up until the final 5, which this was the case for every single advantage except for one. That was the mystery advantage. We added in a secret mystery advantage that none of the players knew. I mean, it was literally called mystery advantage. And if they picked this, it would be a random advantage. You don't know how good it is. It could be a god tier super idol, or it could just be something like you get +1 on your next challenge score. And you don't know what tier it is. So it could only be good for this challenge. It could be good up until the final 3 in an extra vote at FTC or something like that. It wasn't anything crazy like that. But you would pick that, and then you would also be given a challenge, which that challenge may be harder than what it's worth for that item, or it may be way easier than what it's worth for the item. But anyway, it is a total gamble play. But going into the season, we had 9 pairs, 6 of them applied together, 3 of them were randomized. And let's get into episode 1, see who these pairs are and what they do in the season. So, getting started off, let's go over what these pairs were, and I will keep reminding people what the pairs are as we go throughout the video, so that way I don't just assume that you guys remember from me listing it off once. So, our pairs are Arca, or Archivon, but we all just called him Arca, that's what he wanted to go by as a season, and Augustus were the first pair. Galaxy and Nistus were the second pair. Psycho and Butters were a third pair. I know, we have another Butter on the season. We've had Butter, we've had Budder, Budder, and then Butters. So we have a lot of Butters that come on the season. Then we have Cosmo and Ansleen, PK and Fondle, and then Norf and Scout. And these were all the pairs that applied together. Psycho and Butters were siblings, Cosmo and Ansleen were siblings, and then everyone else were just normal friends. So some people view siblings as closer bonds, some people view them as more of a rivalry than an advantage. Then for our randomized partners, we had 6 people that applied solo, and we mixed them all up together. So the first pairing is Joey and John. We then have Arctic and Ego, and then we have Colby and Jay. Now, let's get on to the 2 tribes. Our 2 tribes were, fittingly, the Blood Tribe and the Water Tribe. So, on the Blood Tribe, we have Norf, Galaxy, Arca, Fondle, Ego, Joey, Psycho, Ansleen, and Colby. And then on the Water Tribe, we have PK, Augustus, Nistus, Scout, Arctic, John, Butters, Cosmo, and Jay. Now, going into the first challenge, it was very close, but the Water Tribe ended up losing it. Blood Tribe pulled it out, and they sent Augustus to the merchant. Now, Augustus hadn't done anything. He didn't apply, or he didn't submit for the challenge, so he got his first strike of the season. They went, you know what, let's just send the inactive, you know? He's going home anyway, so maybe this will cause some chaos. And when Augustus got there, he sent the first message that he had sent in the server. He goes, I want a tier 1 idol. So we gave him the easy tier 1 advantage, and he completed it. So now Augustus has an idol, and this is the only idol in the season. We do have a fire idol as well as a part of the merchant, but that doesn't work like a normal idol does. The way that fire idol works is that the 2 people with the most votes go head to head in a fire making competition. So there's only one real idol in the game, and Augustus got it for 1 vote only. He can only use it at this tribal council. Well, everyone on their tribe went, well, it's obvious that Augustus is the vote, right? Yeah, of course he's the vote. All right. Do you think he has anything from the merchant? No. I say we just wing it. Why not? Let's just all vote for Augustus. You know, what could go wrong? Well, a lot could go wrong, as it was an 8-1 vote. Augustus plays his idol, negating 8 votes, and sent home first with 1 vote, who is a pretty active player in the game at this point and very social, was Nistus. So Nistus goes home first because Augustus played the only idol in the season. So, in our second episode, we actually have something happen before the next challenge even gets opened. One of the rules of our season is that you cannot send screenshots. So you can tell people what happened, you can copy paste messages from people, but you can't send an actual screenshot of it because you can fake copy pasting something, you can lie about that, but you can't fake a screenshot unless you have mad Photoshop skills. And we don't want to encourage people to Photoshop for their lies. We want them to do it the old-fashioned way, face-to-face, over text. But Augustus sent a screenshot to Archivon and got a 2nd strike. So now Augustus is going into this challenge with 2 strikes. But don't worry, he submits for the challenge. And he is safe for that. He's not going to strike out of the game, but he's not totally safe because, well, the Water Tribe loses again and goes right back to Tribal Council. Now, sent from the Water Tribe was Scout. And Scout had been very active. She hadn't done poorly in the challenge. So they had sent her because North, her partner, really wanted her to go. And these were people that applied together and they're best friends. So North got Scout to end up going to the merchant. And Scout picks a tier 2 safety without power. So up until the final 9, she can just up and leave any tribal council that she wants to. She will not vote. She will not be able to see the vote or the tribal council channel, but she also cannot receive any votes. Speaking of receiving votes, people did vote, but none of them were counted because one person did not submit a vote, and that was Augustus. So Augustus didn't submit for a challenge, got sent to the merchant, got an idol, idled somebody out of the game, negating 8 votes. They lose the next tribe, and then Augustus just strikes out anyway. And it's one of the most interesting stories, cast member stories and character arcs I've ever seen. But he went out on his own terms, and he got someone out and never made a wrong move. So, hey, the only person that can get Augustus out is Augustus. So, in episode 3, the Water Tribe loses for a 3rd time in a row. And this time, John gets sent to the merchant. Now, John had been somewhat inactive. He had been playing, he hadn't had any strikes, he'd been submitting for challenges and talking to some people, but he never had any real meaningful social relationships at this point in the game. No one felt like they were very close to him, and John was going to be the vote. But when John got sent to the merchant, that changed a lot of plans, especially after the Augustus paranoia. Now, Scout knew what was there, and so she knew that, okay, look, he can't get an idol. He might get a fire idol, though, and that could put a wrench in our plans. But that will do it either way, whether we split the vote or not. So let's not target him, but maybe we target someone else, and then we can split the votes there so that his fire idol will send both of them to tribal council. Well, John doesn't go for the fire idol. He doesn't go for a big advantage like a steal a vote. Instead, he goes for a challenge advantage. It is a tier 1 challenge advantage, which means it will be used at the next challenge. And he got the challenge advantage. But in all of this chaos, the target got shifted to PK, and they were wanting PK out. No one had any close relationships with him yet, and they were going, all right, Dad, do we just want to get PK out? All right, sure. Well, come to Tribal Council, PK uses one of the other twists to the game that I hadn't mentioned before, the shot in the dark dice. Now, for those of you that don't know how a shot in the dark works, it is a 1 in 6 chance at being safe. Every single pair had a shot in the dark. Now, usually this is used where every player in the game has a shot in the dark, but every pair had one. And anyone from the pair could use it, but it could only be used once for that person. So it wouldn't be used for both of them in the pair, just whoever played it. And in using the shot in the dark, you have a 1 in 6 chance at safety, but you lose your vote. So your vote does not count. So PK realizes he's going home, that he's going to be the vote. So he uses a shot in the dark, 1 in 6 odds, and he is not safe. So PK ends up going home in a 5-1 vote. 5 votes for PK, 1 vote for Arctic. We are now 7 or 8 days into the season, and some relationships and alliances had started to form. So on the Water Tribe, we have one big alliance that has 2 duos inside of it. So we have Jay and Scout, who are a duo, and also Cosmo and Butters. Now, they weren't actually duos, and they had been separated from their partners and their pairs, but they had both become really close to each other, and the 4 of them had made up the majority and the alliance that really kind of determined who went and who stayed. And then for the Blood Tribe, we also have Colby and Archivon, who got very close. But we also have Colby and Norf, who became close allies through Scout and Jay telling them, hey, we really like the other person, you should work with their partners, or with their partners. So Scout was telling Norf, hey, I like Jay, work with Colby, and Jay was doing the same to Colby. So we have our first instance of the legal cross-tribing starting to influence some alliances. But that also brings us to our first tribe swap, where it is the final 15, and we are going to 3 tribes of 5. So, on the Blood Tribe, we have Jay and Colby, the pair. We have Psycho and Butters, the pair. And then we have Scout. On the Water Tribe, we have Arctic and Ego, a pair. Then John, Fondle, and Ansline. And on Plasma, we don't have any pairs, but we do have Joey, Arca, Norf, Cosmo, and Galaxy. Now, another thing to point out here is that Cosmo was also the only person from the Water Tribe that was put onto this tribe. So it was a 4-to-1 swap in his disadvantage. But it didn't matter very much, as the Blood Tribe ended up losing this challenge, and the Plasma Tribe and the Water Tribe got to make a joint decision of who to send to Tribal in one chat where everybody could talk, including the Blood Tribe. And Jay goes, I want to go to the Merchant. I want to go see it. I want to be sent. So they sent him. And the reason that Jay did this was because he did not want Butters or Psycho to go to the Merchant and get something. The Merchant had already sent one of his allies home in Nistus, and he didn't want that happening again. So if he got sent home, yeah, he'd have a target on his back, but he knows that he could pick an advantage that only lasted for 1 round or until Final 9, and that if he played it, it would get the target off of his back very quickly. So he ends up going, and he earns a steal a vote that is good until the Final 9. Now, he doesn't end up using it for this round. He uses it a little bit later down the line. But we have 2 pairs going head-to-head in Jay and Colby versus Psycho and Butters. And Scout is left in the middle of her 2 allies. But she was much closer to Jay than she was Butters. And she also had like Colby, and Norf, her partner, had like Colby as well. So she sided with Jay and Colby, and was also the deciding vote of who do we vote out between Butters and Psycho. And Scout goes, I think we should vote out Psycho because Psycho said that she would turn on her brother, and I don't think we want to work with someone that is so willing to turn on their brother like that. And what type of ally does that look like down the road? That's not someone that's very trustworthy. She also did not want to vote Butters out because they were in an alliance before, and she knew that Butters was really close to Cosmo. So if Butters gets voted out, Cosmo gets really mad at her, and now they get rid of the entire alliance that they had just been playing, and then it's just a Jay and Scout duo. And it also might have implications on North because North was in a tribe with Cosmo. So they end up voting for Psycho. It was a 3-2 vote. 3 votes Psycho, 2 votes for Colby, and Psycho goes home. So for this next vote, we have a joint tribal council. So 2 of these tribes are going to lose and vote out 1 member together. And the Plasma tribe ended up winning this, sending Blood and Water both to tribal council, with the Water tribe having a 5-4 person advantage. Now, Plasma could send anyone from either of the tribes to the merchant, and Cosmo really wanted Ansling to go. So Cosmo championed Ansling, and they went, all right, yeah, sure, we don't care, we'll send him. So Ansling gets sent to the merchant, and Ansling then picks the mystery advantage. Now, the mystery advantage was a secret immunity. Now, what that means is Ansling gets to pick anyone in the game that's not him or his partner, and they will be safe at the next tribal council. However, no one but Ansling will know that they're safe, and there will be an announcement that says that someone is safe at the next tribal they attend to. So, if you pick someone that is currently going to tribal council, it will not count for that specific tribal, but it will count for the next tribal. So if he gives it to the person who gets voted out, well, that's kind of tough because now no one's going to have it. But he can tell anyone who he likes, and the person that receives it isn't going to know as well unless they're told. So Ansling goes to Cosmo and goes, who do I give it to? And Cosmo goes, all right, I'm on the bottom, and I want to try and work my way into this group. And I really like Arca, and I want to work with Arca. I think this will be my best way in here. So if we give it to Arca, then we'll be fine, you know? And so Ansling goes, all right, yeah, that works out. I'll happily help your game out and give it to Arca, build some trust between me and Arca as well. So yeah, here you go, Arca. So Arca now has the secret immunity, and Cosmo tells Arca this, and Arca's like, oh, sweet, dope, this is awesome. But when it is announced, North starts to come up with a crazy plan. He goes, all right, Scout, you said that Cosmo was running your tribe. That Cosmo was in a big place of power and had a lot of influence. Well, Ansling was very safe on our tribe as well, and was just sent to the merchant. The secret immunity thing has to have something to do with him, right? So why don't we blindside Ansling? Because it's a joint tribal, you can talk to the people on the other tribe, and you guys can try to organize a vote against Ansling. And then Scout goes, no, that is stupid. Why would I try to target their only, or not their only active player, but one of their 2 active players when we don't have the numbers for that? We have to flip at least one of them to vote out Ansling, and he's one of the only ways that they're gonna win immunity right now. Why would they do that? So instead, Scout goes, I want to vote out Fondle, because Fondle hadn't submitted for the challenge, and the Water tribe was kind of like, yeah, no, none of us have talked to him. You 4 seem very tight, so why don't we just vote out someone that's being inactive that's not going to help our tribe anyways? So if we send you out here now, we'll go back to tribal anyways. But if we send out Fondle, we may not ever have to go back to tribal, so win-win. So they all vote for Fondle. And Fondle even votes for himself because he didn't submit a vote. So it was a 9-0 vote, and Fondle was sent home next. Well, Fondle was voted out so that the Water tribe wouldn't have to go tribal again. However, this plan very badly backfired, and Water had to go back to tribal the very next challenge. And in this time, Ego was sent to the merchant, and Ego actually failed the merchant challenge going for the fire idol. And In doing so, he had picked a tier 2, sorry, which meant that he would lose his vote for tribal, and instead of having his vote, he would receive a self vote against him. So 4 people are going to tribal, and Ego has a self vote, but he doesn't tell anyone this. And we just have 3 people deciding who to vote for, with 1 vote already onto Ego. But it's not a very hard decision, as Arctic had been pretty inactive at this point. No one really felt like they knew him very well, and he was Ego's partner, but Ego was randomly paired up with him. They hadn't talked much, and Anselm's like, "You good if we go for Arctic?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine with that." So they target Arctic, and in a 2-to-1 vote, Arctic gets sent home next. So it's final 12 now, and I think it's time that we shake some things up, as we are going to go into another tribe swap, 2 tribes of 6. So on the new blood tribe, we have Joey, Galaxy, Colby, Jay, who are the duo, Arca, and Ego, which means that Colby and Arca are also getting paired up together. But this also means that Jay is the only person from the original water tribe to be on this tribe with all people from the original blood tribe. Then on the water tribe, we have Cosmo and Ansling, the brothers, Norf and Scout, the best friends, and then Butters and John, as Butters had been paired with Cosmo and Scout, but Scout had turned on Butters and voted out his sister the tribal before. And then we have John, who had been a little bit active here and there, but wasn't really connected to anyone, and was Joey's partner, and Cosmo had started to form a bond with Joey, so he didn't want to vote out John because he didn't want to upset Joey. So, going into this next challenge, we have the Greed Challenge, where you can grab Greed, where one person can grab Greed, and they will earn immunity for themselves. They are safe that round, but they send their tribe to Tribal Council. Well, we also added a little caveat of this is the last vote before merge. So if you take Greed, you're 100% guaranteed to make merge, but your tribe will still go to Tribal Council. I will give you 1 hour to decide what you want to do before opening up the chat, and then the first person to send any message of any kind will earn Greed. Well, both tribes had the same strategy. So in the water tribe, Cosmo, Ansleem, North, and Scout had started to form a duo, because Scout and Cosmo goes, why don't we just bring our partners into this, and we just pair up. We have 2 people on the outs, and we can just decide between them. So they went, what if we threw this challenge? And it was Cosmo's idea. He goes, what if one of us goes and grabs immunity, and then we just vote for one of the 2 people on the outs? To which North goes, this is a great idea. I'll take it. I don't mind having the target. Well, North wanted still to get out Cosmo and Ansling because he thought of them as a very powerful duo, and both of them were still in the game. And he wanted Cosmo out really bad because he thought of Cosmo as the ringleader. Meanwhile, on the Blood Tribe, Ego goes, alright, well, there's all Blood members and 1 Water member. Why don't we make an all OG Blood Tribe? So he pulls in everyone but Jay into one alliance chat and goes, alright, let's just throw the challenge and get Jay out. Well, there's a problem with that. Colby is Jay's partner, and Colby and Arca are also very close. So Arca wants to keep Colby in the game, and in turn wants to keep Jay in the game, because if he has Colby working for him, he also probably has Jay working for him as well. So Arca goes, yeah, I want to get out Ego this round. Well, this worked out perfectly because Jay also wanted to get out Ego because Ego had just voted out his partner. And he goes, how can I trust someone that turns on their partner? Like, I get that you were randomly paired up, but like, that's the one person that you're sent here to trust with your game and to help your game out. So why would you turn on them? I don't want to work with someone like that. So everyone really wanted to target Ego because of tribal lines. Well, one person that also wanted to do this was Joey. Joey's going, yeah, no, I'm not going along with this. I'm not going to vote someone out because of tribal lines. I don't know Jay that much. I haven't been on a tribe with him at all, but he seems like a chill dude, so I'll happily take this. So when the Greed channel opens up, within a second, Joey goes, I take Greed. He takes it, he grabs it, he actually just sent a period out, but as I said before, any message of any kind counts. So Joey takes Greed and is safe from Tribal. And Cosmo's going, oh, okay, well, it looks like we don't have to worry about a vote. And Norf is going, damn it, we don't have to worry about a vote. That means that Cosmo and Anslin are making the merge. So two very different reactions from the same alliance chat. They didn't say it publicly. But then you have Jay, Colby, and Arca that are working as a trio and going, okay, so we're just going to get out Ego here? Yeah, cool. Well, Colby had been telling Jay all about this plan that Ego had and keeping him in the loop as it was happening. And Jay was getting very nervous and very paranoid because, like, I don't know these people. I only know you. And Colby's like, dude, chill. It's fine. We have the numbers on our side. We have Archivon and we also have Galaxy. Like, we have the numbers. The only person that might not go along with this is Joey. So it's us versus Ego and Joey, so it's fine. And Jay then asks, what are the rules on my steal a vote? If the vote ties, do I still have the steal vote on the revote? And we looked it up on the Survivor page, and yes, you do get to cast the revote for that vote. So we said, yeah. So he goes, all right, cool. So if Archivon is lying and Galaxy is lying, and I use my steal vote on Joey, that means that it would tie in a 3-3, and I would still keep his vote on the revote. So he steals Joey's vote. However, Joey had voted for Ego. So in stealing Joey's vote, Joey's going, dude, what the hell? Like, what did he do? And so it was a 6-1 vote, 6 votes for Ego, 1 vote for Jay, but Joey never casted his vote anyways, so he's like, why'd you do that? And Jay goes, well, it's better be safe than sorry. And from Jay's point of view of very limited information, and no one was really talking to him, it did seem like a very good idea to Jay because he only had Arca's word to go off of and Colby's word, and he doesn't know Arca. He just knows that Colby likes him. So he uses the steal vote and 6-1 vote, and now we are in the merge. So now we have merged, and everyone gets 24 hours to talk to each other. But two people weren't talking to each other, Jay and Joey. Joey was pissed and was not responding to any of Jay's DMs. So Jay then comes up with a plan. He calls it the Desperado. And this is also derived from chess, where if you know a piece is gone, why not sacrifice that piece to take a good piece? You still lose the piece, and it sucks, and it's usually not a very good trade, but it's better than losing that piece for nothing. So he wants to target Joey at every turn that he can. In Jay's words, if somebody asks me who I want to vote out, the answer is Joey. Who's the best at challenges? Joey. Who's the most connected? Joey. Who's the most social? Joey. Who do I trust the least? Joey. How's my day going? Believe it or not, Joey. And he goes all in on this strategy and goes, and this is going to help me out because if Joey's still in the game, people aren't going to be worried about me. People are going to go, okay, well, we know where Jay's vote is. We know where his head is at. I don't have to worry about Jay coming for me. And that's a reason to keep Joey in the game longer and a reason to keep Jay in the game longer. Plus, by Joey being the answer to every question, if they ask a question that's very clearly not Joey, and he says that, yeah, I think the biggest target is Joey, and they're like, well, he's clearly not the biggest target here. He's clearly not controlling the game. Why would you say that? It makes Jay seem very out of touch. So people think he has a bad read on the game and underestimate him. So that's going to give him longevity to make it very far in this game. So we get to the challenge, and Anslin wins it. And now Norf finally gets to play the game. Norf had not gone to a single tribal council this entire game and was the only person to have not gone to tribal. Now, Norf had been trying to blindside Cosmo and Anslin forever. And Norf goes, it is merge time. Let's finally do it. Let's vote out Cosmo. He didn't win the challenge. Come on, Scout. Let's go. And then Scout goes, yeah, no, I'm going with them. So she tells Cosmo this plan, and he had also told Arca and a few other people his plan, and Arca had gone back to Joey and Galaxy and gone, hey, Norf really, really wants to get out Cosmo. why don't we just get out north now? And both Joey and Galaxy are like, all right, yeah, I'm game for this. So we already have a group of people that want to get out north. We already have Cosmo and Ansley and her going, well, he's coming for us. Yeah, we'll get him out. We have John who's going, yeah, I'll do that because why not? My partner Joey's doing it. I'll do it too. We have Butters who's close with him. And then Jay who's like, all right, well, Scout, if you want to get out north, yeah, that's fine with me. And so North then hears about this blindside attempt on him and starts talking to everyone, going, hey, you're not going to vote for me, right? You're not going to vote for me, right? You're not going to vote for me, right? It's my first tribal council. I don't want to go out now. And so he makes a last-ditch effort, and he realizes that the Blood Tribe, the original Blood Tribe, has 6 members, and the original Water Tribe only has 5. So he pulls in all the Blood members and goes, look, I know what's happening. My blindside failed miserably. It blew up in my face, and now everyone is voting for me. I know that I'm the big target here, but we have majority, so why don't we just put down the loaded guns, we all have them point at each other, just lower them a little bit, and then go, we can do these a little bit later, but for right now, let's go for an easy vote. Who would you guys want to vote out? And so Ansling goes, well, obviously I don't want to vote out my brother, but why don't we go for John? John's been pretty inactive. No one's really that close to John. That seems like a good vote to me. Joe, are you fine with that? And Joey's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. It was a random partner, and I don't know John that well. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. So they all go, all right, yeah, we're voting for John. Well, Ansling goes to Cosmo and goes, all right, here's what's actually going on. I think we should split the votes. So we'll have anyone from North side voting for John, but why don't we pull in Jay and Scout, because Scout is obviously with us. She seems like she really wants to turn on North, and Scout's reasoning for this is, I've known North for 10 years. He's been my best friend for 10 years. I know who he is and how he plays. If he has a chance to vote me off, he will. He will absolutely vote me off. He's going to cause chaos. He's going to be this crazy, outspoken, loud player that's going to try and make the big move at every opportunity. And soon enough, that big move's going to be me. So why would I trust him? Because I know that I can't. Yeah, he's my partner, but I know for a fact that I cannot trust North in this. So they go, all right, who should we split the vote on? And Jay goes, I think we should split it onto Joey. And they're like, all right, yeah, that seems fair. Joey was fine going out his partner, and North isn't going to have anything. He might use his shot in the dark, but that's a 1 in 6 odds. But just in case he does, we might as well split it, put it 6 votes onto North, 3 votes onto Joey, and then North and a few other people that we keep out of the loop, 3 votes onto John. And one of those people is Joey, who's voting for his own partner. So it does end in a 5-3 vote. Sorry, 5, not 3. Math is hard. But North goes, all right, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to do my shot in the dark. I trust my alliances now. Shot in the dark is 1 in 6. My vote might be pivotal. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to do it. And Joey goes, I have an idol. And everyone goes, we don't believe you. So 5-3 vote. North does not play a shot in the dark, and North gets sent home as the first merge boot and misses the jury by 1 vote. So now North has gone home in a chaotic, crazy vote. So this next vote is either going to be just as chaotic or very, very calm. Well, Butters ends up winning the challenge, and things seem smooth as butter. Going along. Everyone had turned on Joey at this point. Jay had been talking to a lot of his allies and had a lot of influence, and they all go, all right, yeah, no, none of us are really close to Joey. We'll just vote for Joey. So, in a very easy 6-2-1 vote, Joey gets 6 votes and goes home. 2 votes go to John, and 1 vote goes to Galaxy, who had self-voted. It is now time for the auction. And it is also time for someone to play the middle ground. This goes to Arca. So a big alliance chat had been made of basically everyone in the game, except for Colby and John and Galaxy. So Archivon goes, all right, why don't I just rig the challenge? So if I talk to them and go, hey, we're clearly on the bottom, we need to fight back, we need to coordinate our bids, and then I go to the main alliance and go, hey, why don't we just coordinate our bids so that we don't bid on the same thing twice? I can know where everyone's bids are going, and I can control who bids what. And it works. He actually does tell people where to bid, what to bid on, and goes, okay, I think that they might go for this. So I think we should try to avoid this and go for this instead. And he goes to both sides and does this. So in the end, the immunity necklace is won by Cosmo. So Cosmo is safe. Our second item was a covered item, and these are idol shards. We only have 2 idol shards this season, and 1 idol shard negates 1 vote. So Colby ends up winning this. So Colby has an extra vote that expires this round because it is the final 9, and he has 2 idol shards. Item number 3 is the fire idol, the one where the first and second most votes go head to head. This is won by Butters. This was also covered. Item number 3 was covered and is a idol nullifier, and this is won by Arca. And then the last item of any importance was not covered, it was out in the open, and it was a shot in the dark odds increase from 1 in 6 chance to a 1 in 3 chance, and Scout ends up getting this. So here's where our advantages lie, because tier 2 advantages end at final 9. So we have Colby with an extra vote that expires this round, and 2 idol shards. We have Scout with a safety without power that expires this round, shot in the dark odds, and then we also have Butters, who has the fire idol. So going into this vote, Scout realizes, oh crap, Arca is playing the middle very hard. But I think North was actually onto something, because Arca is very close with Cosmo and Anceline, and Cosmo and Anceline have Butters as well. And Galaxy and John are just kind of floating around at this point. They're extra votes. I think that we should try and blindside Anceline. And so she goes to Colby and Jay with this plan, and Colby and Jay go, yeah, we were thinking the exact same thing. Because Jay had also gone, hey Colby, your vote expires this round, right? Yeah. We need to use it for us to better our game. I think it's time to make a big move. Let's go to Scout and see what she thinks. And she had then given them the pitch. So Scout, Colby, and Jay are going, okay, we have 3 votes, and it is the final 9. We can negate 2 of their votes. So in a 3 to 6, it is now 3 to 4. If we use an extra vote, that's 4 to 4. So we need to flip one of them. Well, the Cosmo Alliance was gunning for John. So they went, okay, John, why don't you come on board? And John went, yeah, I'm game for this. But this was at the very start, and John was not responding to DMs. So Scout is going, oh no, John's not responding. John might self-vote. John has been pretty inactive. He might actually not vote because he's not talking to me, and we have a vote in an hour. So she goes to Jay and is like, hey, do you think John might self-vote? And Jay's like, crap, he might. Why don't we pull in Galaxy? Galaxy is another free vote, and Scout goes on it. So Scout goes to Galaxy 30 minutes before the vote and is like, hey, we need to get out Anceline right now. Cosmo is running the game, and Cosmo has immunity. So why don't we get out Cosmo's number 1 and Anceline and try to get him out? And Galaxy goes, I am so game for this. So Galaxy and John have now agreed to vote with Colby, Scout, and Jay. So that's 5 votes against 4. But we also have the 2 idol shards, so that would be a 5 to 2, and we also have the extra votes, that would be a 6 to 2, so a little bit of overkill, but might as well use all of your advantages. But John does end up self-voting, so it is a 4 to 5 vote, but Colby negates 2 votes and uses his extra vote. So the end vote in the end was 5 to 3, 5 votes for Anceline, 3 votes for John, and Anceline gets blindsided and sent to the jury. As we enter the final 8, we now start to have lines drawn in the sand. So on the one side, we have Cosmo, Butters, and Arca. And then on the other side, we have Jay and Scout, then Colby, Galaxy, and John. Now, John and Galaxy are still kind of free agents, but they think that Cosmo is still the biggest threat in the game, and no one's going to beat Cosmo if it comes to the end. So, if Cosmo doesn't win immunity, we have to get him out now because he's really good at these challenges. And he is really good at these challenges. So good, in fact, that he wins this challenge, leaving Butters and Arca left alone. Well, Arca is going, I don't want to work with someone with the sinking ship. So I'm going to go talk to the other side and try to get in good with them. I'm going to play the middle game again. I'm going to tell them a little bit of information. And he goes to Scout, and he starts to talk to her about, all right, these are some of the plans that are going on. Colby really pissed me off last tribal, and I want to try to get Colby out now. Well, Scout's going, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And she tells him that she's not going to vote for Colby for this vote. Well, Arca goes back and goes, all right, they're not budging, and I want to work with you guys. So here is the plan. This is a plan that all three of them devised. So no one person was really the person that came up with the idea, but Cosmo probably came up with the split vote idea of this part, but Butters has a fire idol. So Butters is going to use his shot in the dark. If he gets the dark, then perfect, he's safe. But he should play his fire idol to be safe. And Cosmo goes, why don't we vote for Jay and Colby on the outs? So if his shot in the dark works, we still have to send two people to fire making. So if we both just vote for Colby, then we're going to go to another revote for the second vote, and then you're going to go to fire making, Arca. So if we vote one vote Jay and one vote Colby, then the pair will be forced into fire making against each other, and one of them will have to go out. And if it doesn't work out, then one of them is still sent in, and we can go for Colby just like you wanted. And this works out perfectly in the first vote. Butters uses his shot in the dark dice, and it doesn't work, and he doesn't get his vote, but Arca and Cosmo split their votes, one vote Colby, one vote Jay. So we go to a revote for who the second person is, as Butter had gotten 5 votes. So in this vote, we have another tie. 2 votes I keep saying Arca. 2 votes for Jay, 2 votes for Colby, and 1 vote left. And that deciding vote is on Galaxy. And Galaxy has not submitted a vote, so production is going, alright, who's going to be sent to this fire making? Specs are like, who's going to be sent? And then Galaxy continues not to submit a vote. Well, Galaxy has 2 strikes at this point. If he doesn't submit a vote, he's out. And he doesn't submit a vote. So what happens in this case scenario? Well, the votes had already been casted. We were already at a revote. Advantages had already been played and wasted. So we're not just going to call off Tribal Council because Galaxy striked out. So what we did is Galaxy strikes out, is sent to the jury. And we now have Butters and Jay and Colby go to fire making. And whoever gets last place in fire making will be sent home. So in first place was Jay, leaving Colby and Butters, the 2 main targets anyways, to go to that final, who's going home, basically. You know what I'm trying to say. So, getting second place is Colby, meaning that Butters got 3rd place and is sent home. Not without effort, though. Butters gave one hell of a fight before being sent to that jury. With Galaxy's exit, we are now down to a final 6, and we have a tight trio of Jay, Scout, and Colby, and we have a tight duo of Cosmo and Arca, and then we have John in the middle of it. But John wants to actually work with Cosmo and Arca. So in this next challenge, Colby ends up winning it, and Cosmo is now vulnerable to any votes going his way. For the first time in a while, Cosmo is votable. You know, he's vulnerable. And so Jay and Scout and Colby go, all right, yeah, we're voting for Cosmo. Yeah, no question about it. John, you're on board? Huh? What's that? John, you're on board? Yup. And so they then vote, the other trio votes for Jay. So we have 3 votes for Jay and 3 votes for Cosmo. And in the revote, Arca goes, all right, I think I can flip Scout. I want to get Jay out of here now, and I think we can flip Scout. So he goes to Scout and is going, all right, we want to flip you. We want you to vote. I think this is beneficial for your game, and gives her his sales pitch. Well, Scout's going, yeah, no, there's no way in hell that I am going to flip. And so she goes to John and is going, dude, why would we vote out Jay now when we could vote out Cosmo? Cosmo could go on a winning streak. He could win out for the rest of the game. And while Cosmo isn't the main person I want out either, I want Arca out actually the most, but Cosmo is going to win out if we don't vote him out now while he is vulnerable. And this actually works, and John flips back over, not wanting to go to Rocks for Cosmo's game, and Cosmo ends up getting voted out in the revote. Final 5, and everyone is looking towards Arca. Arca is public enemy number 1. John had just flipped. There's a tight trio, and then there's Arca. And Arca's going, well, shit. Why am I the target? In Arca's words, why am I the target? All I've done is lied about everything this game for no reason. Why would they want me gone? What possible reason would they have for getting rid of me? And going into the challenge, Arca goes try her. He goes, my back is against the wall. I need to win this challenge or else my game is over. And Arca does just that and wins the challenge. And so now there is a tough decision to be made. Who goes home on the other side? You know, are they going to vote out John, who hasn't really done much and is a very easy vote, but the other 3 have been working together this entire game. Jay and Scout had grown insanely close through this process, and Jay and Colby had also become very close, but it was definitely a Scout and Jay like duo that was running the show at this point. So Colby then goes, all right, look, I'm not going to vote for either of you guys, and honestly, I'm very busy right now. I'm in an all-star season in another org, and it's a final tribal council right now. And so I know that I'm not going to win. So I'm just going to vote for John. I love both of you. I think both of you deserve to win. I love Arca, and I think all 3 of you are 3 amazing players. And so I'm going to vote for John, and I'm going to get the GOAT out of the game. And Scout goes, well, that puts me in a swing vote position because Arca and John both vote for Jay. Jay and Colby both vote for John. So Scout now has a decision to make. Who do I vote out? Do I turn on my closest ally who will have a very good case in the jury? Or do I go for John, someone who's not going to win this final challenge and isn't going to get any votes at Final Tribal? Well, she goes, all right, let me think of this from another angle. In the next vote, Final 4, if Jay goes home, I now have to win to stay alive because Colby's not going to vote for Arca, and Arca's absolutely coming for me because he's way closer to Colby and John than he is me. So if I vote Jay out now, I am going to go home in 4th place. And I'm not sure that I can win this final challenge. I'm not sure that I can beat Arca. I'm going to vote for John. So in a 3-2 vote, John goes home, and that brings us our final 4 of Arca, Jay, Scout, and Colby. Now, our final 4 is the same for every single season. We do a 24-hour challenge where every hour, or within every hour, like 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, we have one task or question or check-in for them to do in the hour, and whoever does it first gets a point. Well, we ask the players every season, what's the best time for you, and what's the best day? Well, Arca had been gone on vacation that day. He goes, I'm leaving for the airport at 5 p.m. and I'm not going to be able to be a part of this challenge at all. And I was like, well, if we push it back a day, will that help? It's like, I'm gone for the next 3 days. This is just very poor timing. But I'm not really going to be able to be online. I'm not going to be able to do really any challenge or submit any votes. So we went through with the 24-hour challenge, and Colby was also like, yeah, no, I'm not really going to try hard this. I'm in Final Tribal Council for another season, and I'm really going to try that one. And Colby did end up winning that season, so congratulations, Colby, for winning an All-Star season. But it comes down to Jay and Scout and winning by 2 points because they missed one check-in. So it was 12-10, or they missed 2 check-ins, sorry, is Jay. And Jay is guaranteed a spot in Final Tribal. Now, Jay and Scout are going, all right, we're not going to turn on each other. You know, Scout wasn't going to turn on Jay anyways. And Jay goes, I really want Scout to make it to the end because Scout has never played in a Survivor before. This was Scout's first ever season playing, and I love Scout, and I've already won 2 Survivors before, so I'm fine losing this game. You know, me and Scout have played together very closely, so if this vote is what loses me the game, I'm fine with that. And I also love Colby. I would love for our trio, something that started like day 10, to make it all the way to the end and make it to a Final Tribal. That would be amazing with 2 people that I absolutely love. And Scout and Colby are kind of like, yeah, Colby actually wanted to get voted out of the game, but they voted for Archivon, and Arca wasn't online, so Arca wasn't making a case to save him. So Colby's going, well, if Arca's not going to do anything, it's just going to self-vote anyways, I might as well vote for Arca. So in a 4-0 vote, Arca gets sent home in 4th place, 1 away from Final Tribal, where he would have had a very good shot at winning this game. But in Final Tribal, we have Jay, Scout, and Colby, the trio that had been throughout the entire game together. And let's see what happens in this Final Tribal. So in the Final Tribal, Colby goes, yeah, nah, I didn't really play that good of a game. I made 1 move, it was excessive and wasn't really that necessary, and I didn't even come up with the plan for it. So I've been busy, I just went through 3 days of an FTC. Jay and Scout, best of luck to you guys. And I hope one of you win. Both of you played amazing seasons and deserve to win. So I'm going to step this one out, and it's between Jay and Scout. Now Jay and Scout have been working together in lockstep this entire game. They had been coming up with plans together. They had been talking to people together. And Jay's pitch was basically, look, I was kind of the brains behind the operation. I have played before, so I knew what plans would look like. I knew what to avoid in plans. I knew when it was stupid. Scout really wanted to vote Archivon out this entire time, and I was able to rein her in because it wasn't the time to vote for Arca yet. So throughout this whole game, I was refining the plans. I was coming up with the plans. I was making sure that we would have a split vote. Was I the most manipulative person in the world? No. Was I the one that reached out to everyone? No. But my social game was so good that I came in with a partner that I had never met before and gotten so close that they would throw their game to bring me to the end. And I had made a friend that was so close in Scout that she would also be so loyal to me that she would throw her game at the end for me to get into it, or at least throw away voting for me instead of or throw away voting for a big player and go for John instead of me. And Scout goes, well, yeah, we came up with all the plans together, and yeah, I had some plans that didn't go through, but I'm the reason why the plans that we came up with together actually worked. I was the person that everyone on the bottom was coming to and talking to and trying to make these plans. I was the person that was flipping everyone over. I blindsided a few close allies, especially in Ansling and North, and I was the one that orchestrated a lot of those vote outs. I was the person that got the numbers on our side, that brought the numbers to us. Jay just knew how to put them, or where to put the numbers, but I was the one that actually was getting my hands dirty and getting the numbers. And in the end, we had 7 jury members. First vote, Jay. Second vote, Scout. Third vote, Jay. Fourth vote, Scout. Fifth vote, Jay. Sixth vote, Scout. And the seventh vote, and the winner of Blood versus Water is Scout, who had never played an org before, had never watched an episode of Survivor until a month before the season started, and Scout had won her first ever season and also became our first female winner. It also broke a streak of J names winning the seasons, because season 1 the winner was Soccer, but Soccer's real name starts with a J. Season 2, Jace won. Season 3, Jonas won. Season 4, Johnny won. So, if Jay had won, he would have continued it, but we also have a Scout and Soccer, so it's a J or an S that's going to win. So for All Stars, it has to be a J name or an S name that wins. Obviously, right? That's how it works. But congratulations, Scout. You played an excellent game, and you deserve this win 100%. So, let's get to some awards. So, for our first award, we have the Most Robbed award, and this actually came down to a very close argument between Nistus and North. And both of them had good arguments for why they were the most robbed, and both of them had arguments for why the other person was better robbed than the other person. So, we ended up flipping a coin to see who would get the Most Robbed award, and the Most Robbed awards goes to North. Next up is the Host Favorite award. This award goes to Scout. The next award is Best Confessionals. This goes to Jay. Jay always debriefed on every vote in very good detail, and it was also pretty funny. Most Chaotic obviously goes to Arca. Arca had lied to everyone. At one point, he hit a fake idol. No one found it, but he still hit it. Then for Biggest Rivals, we have Jay versus Arca. They had been going back and forth this entire time in their two alliances. Most Anxious is a new award that we made because Scout requested it and she fit the bill for it. So Scout wins the first and only ever Most Anxious award. And we also have the Mastermind award, which we gave to Cosmo. So, last two awards. Fan Favorite award goes to Scout. For the same reason she got Host Favorite. She was insanely fun to watch. She gave detailed confessionals. She was very funny. Jay gave a little bit more detailed confessionals, but she was always in the mix of things. She was the swing vote for a lot of times and was very entertaining to watch. And finally, the player of the season has to go to Jay, or runner-up. You know, first and second place, whoever got second place was going to get the player of the season between the two of them. You know, they both deserve a lot of credit and a lot of recognition for their games. They played it together, so a lot of the moves both of them have to take credit for, not just one or the other, and they did the moves in very different ways, which is what made them work together. So, Jay, congratulations on Player of the Season, and Scout, congratulations on winning Season 5.